let's bring in our buddy, Jeff Bakalar, who's at CNET Studios, downtown New York City. Hey, Jeff.
How are you, Vlad?
So, dude, lots to talk about. Give me the rundown of so far, your favorite thing that you've seen today.
I think the most interesting thing is what they're really trying to do with that new iPad Pro and the fact that it's essentially a deconstructed laptop that they're selling individualized accessories for. So the iPad is going to come with a 12.9-inch screen, and then they're going to charge you $170 for a cover keyboard, and then they're introducing something called Apple Pencil, which is a $100 stylus that will be able to detect different kinds of weight and force that you're applying on the screen. This is their big, this is the first time the iPad has gotten a complete revamp. So to see that they're going in this direction where they're just saying, hey, you really don't need any kind of laptop now is very interesting.
You know, Jeff, Christine and I have been talking about this, and I actually tweeted a picture. I don't know if you saw it, but I tweeted a picture of Steve Jobs when he was first introducing the iPhone, and he had on the screen behind him, it said, who needs a stylus, right? And his point, Steve Jobs said that the best stylus is the human finger, and I just sort of feel like, I mean, what do you think of, and also the fact that there are many styluses from third parties that you can buy that are available to use on your iPhone or iPad, and this is the reveal picture that we're showing there. So are people really prepared to spend $100 for something that they never thought would be part of the Apple canon?
Yeah, it's definitely a great point. That obviously made the waves on Twitter right after they announced that, yes, the new iPad Pro is going to have a stylus accessory. So here's the thing. I mean, that was a while ago, and, obviously Steve Jobs and his, legacy remains, but he's not around anymore, and, the company changes and the philosophy changes. I don't think the pencil, the stylus, is an absolute necessity that's going to go hand in hand with the iPad Pro, but it's definitely going to give artists and more technical users that option. And yeah, it's a page that we never thought would be turned, and I think in the end, people who take advantage of being super artistic, super hands-on, whether it be like AutoCAD software or any kind of technical application, I think something like that is actually going to work real well. Now, at $100, I'm not so sure, but you're already spending $800 on the iPad Pro, and that's just for the base, so you're all in.
What's another $99 at that point, right?
Right, exactly.
Throw it all in.
Why not?
Of course. So, Jeff, getting back to the Apple Watch.
Yeah, Christine's all over that.
Well, it kind of caught my eye because suddenly there's the Hermes brand partnering up there with Apple.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. They partner with them, and they're going to release a couple of exclusive watch faces and a unique leather band. A lot of the attention on the watch portion of the keynote was also focused on the new watch operating system, the second version of that, and how it's going to incorporate new functionality. But a lot of people are sort of wondering, hey, is there anything going to be improved in terms of battery life? Is this thing, really going to be an absolute necessity and not just a complement to the phone that I already need to have, close enough for the Apple Watch to work? So I think the overall reception about what they talked about with the Apple Watch is a little lukewarm.
Do you think, though, that they're trying to tap into the most stylish techies with this partnership?
Definitely, and from the beginning with their 14-karat rose gold faces
which
and whatnot,
I know you have,
which I have 3. Don't make fun.
Well, didn't they come out with a rose gold? Did I read that they came out with a rose gold, which is
fancy?
It's super fancy. For me, I don't think that's something that is entirely practical. Just because this is a watch that will eventually become obsolete, not like your regular wristwatch, which is essentially timeless. So I think you got to think about your priorities there from the get-go. But yeah, they're trying to tap into a market that I'm not so sure exists in the way that maybe they're hoping it does.
All right, sorry, Christine. We have 2 more things that we just saw revealed. One is the Apple TV, the upgraded Apple TV, and we'll talk about the new iPhone. But the Apple TV, what'd you think? I mean, there's a new controller. A lot of people didn't like the old controllers, and there's a voice-activated interaction that you can have with the Apple TV, but I'm told that Samsung and some others already sort of do that.
Yeah, even the Xbox One had voice control with their Kinect accessory. I think the jury is still out on whether or not people want to talk to their television, but the vision for Apple TV is having apps on your television. That is absolutely the philosophy Apple is diving right in with, you know, the same way they did with their iPhones and iPads. Have an app ecosystem and then go from there. So I think it's, you know, it's interesting what they're trying to do. The entire revamping of the software the Apple TV runs on is, in my opinion, smart. It looks good. I think they did a good job with redesigning the way you will interact with apps, and I'm kind of impressed with that remote combining the touch functionality with actual buttons. So I think interacting with your Apple TV is going to be a much better experience. But I'm not so sure that people are going to ditch something that they already have just to maybe see how Siri works. You know, we have to play around with that and see how well it performs.
Well, I know with all the commotion going on in my house, there's no way Siri is going to understand what the heck I'm trying to say to her through my TV.
Siri's going to say, hey, everyone just shut up for a second.
Exactly.
I'm trying to listen.
It doesn't happen in the real world, trust me. So let's talk about the price point on this new Apple TV device. What do you think about that? It's a little high, right?
Yeah, it's a little high. I think I can't recall the actual price. We got into the studio right as all that was ending, but I mean, you know, you're paying that premium, and the premium is in that remote is not a cheap piece of hardware to manufacture, so you have to calculate that into the cost of everything. But rest assured that this is where, you know, the Apple TV platform is going from here on out. So you may need to wait a little bit for that thing to come down in price.
And Jeff, the final thing on the Apple TV, I saw Brian Tong saying that it looked like, well, we saw a screenshot of Guitar Hero and some other games. I got to tell you that one game that I saw of the bird or the duck crossing the road, as he pointed out, like Crossy looks like Frogger, and the technology looks kind of ancient, so I don't know what was going on there. But are they? And Brian said that they might be looking to compete with Xbox and PlayStation. No way.
They got a long way to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not canceling any pre-orders for Fallout 4 after seeing a Crossy Road demo, a game that I've been playing on my phone for months and months and months. So I think
a preschool game.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you don't lead with that demo as a sign of innovation of gaming through Apple TV. Nevertheless, it's accessible for people who have no exposure to gaming whatsoever. So you got to look at it from that point of view.
Are there people like that exist?
There are.
Oh,
they might live in a retirement home. I don't know where they're at. But yeah, you know, the Apple TV is not, you know, it doesn't have the same guts and same hardware as something like a PS4 or an Xbox One, but it probably does have similar stuff to what maybe your phone has. So it's surprising to see that they started things off with that kind of low tech level sort of demo stuff. But we'll have to see where it goes. There's a Guitar Hero game that looked way more, you know, graphically intense. So hopefully we can expect more stuff in that realm.
And we're showing the prices there of the new Apple TVs, $149, and then
Should
the
we get to the
upgraded
phones
model.
now?
Yeah. So the Apple 6 and the 6S and the 6S Plus is what they're calling it.
Yes.
What's so great about it? Didn't we just come out with the late? When did we come out with the late?
I don't. When was the last?
It was like
when did the 6
it was
come
before
out?
last Christmas, I think.
Yeah, it was a year ago. They do it every year.
Okay, yeah.
So last year was the brand new, you know, big screen. Now they get that under the hood sort of upgrade. And the new thing they're really boasting about this time around is something called 3D Touch, which is basically a new screen technology that is able to detect sensitive sort of pressure differentiations that you can make with your finger. So the longer you push or the harder you push, you'll have different functionality happen on your phone. And that is really, you know, sort of the thing they were spending the most time on, and how this opens up a whole gamut of new functionality for the, you know, mobile operating system and whatnot. So you're not really getting a new looking sort of phone. The form factor is mostly the same, but that under the hood functionality, an improved touch screen, improved display technology, all that stuff is what's happening this time around with the S versions of that phone.
Do you think we can expect to see that technology in the iPad? I mean, is that something that they'll look to the future, and perhaps even on MacBooks?
Yeah, I don't know about, so MacBooks have it, I believe, built into the trackpad.
Oh, right, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and then as well as the new iPad Pro, yes.
All right. So is there anything else that we're expecting? Is that I think that's it, right? All the big announcements have been.
Yeah, I think they're just about wrapping it up right now. That was sort of like the, you know, the crash course of what went on at the event out in San Francisco. But you know, of course, now we're going to have to get our hands on everything, test it out, see if it's worth.
When you get all that free stuff over at CNET, please bring it over here. We'll all play with it.
Yeah, if you get that Air Maze one, I'd like to take a good look at that one.
All right. We'll be like Linus and Derek Zoolander, playing with all these different things.
You know, at one point, though, that Vlad actually brought up in a conversation earlier, and that is, it's been a while since basically Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone, right?
Yeah.
That there's been that one product where it's like brand spanking new.
Never seen it before. This is mind-blowing. Got to get one. I mean,
yeah, now it's just kind of updating what's already on their platform.
Yeah, I think they were trying to have that reaction with the Apple Watch when that first came out. And while they claim it's been this runaway success, I don't think it has had the groundbreaking effect that the iPhone did when it first came out all those years ago. So yes, there is this sort of like slow crawl to, you know, maybe recapture that kind of innovation. But you're right, they really have yet to come out with something that has just blown the doors off that keynote. So
treading water until the Apple Car, is that what it is?
A little bit. I mean, the iPad Pro is definitely a big deal. People have been clamoring for a larger touchscreen tablet for a while. But again, like you said, it just does not have that impact of like, oh my God, this is going to change my everyday life.
All right, Jeff Bakalar, talking to us from the CNET headquarters in Lower Manhattan. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right.